Good evening and welcome to our crafting session this evening. It is Thursday the 18th of January 2024. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley near Silverstone, the Formula One circuit, racing circuit. And that's in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't joined us before and this is the first time, then a warm welcome to you and a welcome back to anybody who has been following and taking part with our Facebook Lives over the last few years. I started doing Facebook Lives when COVID shut everything down here in the UK, so early 2020. Prior to that, everything I did was all in person. You didn't really see me online, but now obviously I do a combination of in-person classes and online classes and class in a box. All of the products I'm showing you today are from Stampin' Up, and this particular set that we're using comes from our January to April mini catalogue. Sorry about the reflection. So this, as you can see, is Trusty Tools, and I did use this earlier on this week on Monday, and I made these two cards. This one was the one that I made in the live. And the stamp set has some matching metal dies. These are used in a die cutting machine, and one of the dies here creates this pegboard design, if you like. So it's literally just got holes in it, and you run it through a die cutting machine. So I cut out a piece of crumb cake coloured card. Hi Cindy. Oh, it's just live now if you're joining us now. You haven't missed us. So I've created this pegboard in the background, and then between the beginning of January and the end of February there are some matching coordinating papers. So as well as the stamp set that can stamp, and you can fussy cut or use the dies to cut out the paintbrush, the adjustable spanner, the hammer, tape measure and the pencil, and then you've also got some screws and things there. There are some free papers that have a whole series of designs on them. So I showed those this morning and also on Monday, and this is one of the designs. This is another one with the rulers on, and many of these can be, well, all of these can be fussy cut depending on how much you like cutting with scissors. Oh, bless you, Cindy. Well done. So these can all be fussy cut. Some of them have coordinating dies. So, for example, the pencil, one of the spanners, not that one, but the double-ended spanner. This is the adjustable wrench there. The hammer has the different hammers. So there's two different hammers. There's quite a lot of duplicates, but of different variations. So you can either choose to cut these out, or you can use the dies. And I created this one just by fussy cutting some of the elements. Some of these were cut from the edge of the paper, so they're not even complete items, but it doesn't matter because they're hidden and tucked away. So, and I popped the ruler on the bottom. So these were designs that we were doing at Coffee and Card this week. And then the other design that people could choose from was this one here with the paintbrushes. They could obviously paint this any colour they wanted to, and you could either colour in the whole thing, or you could use the coordinating stamps to do the handle for the paintbrush, for example, and the colours of the paint. And in the background I've stamped the paintbrush as well and used the Happy Father's Day sentiment. So today I'm going to take that a little bit further, and I've got a couple of ideas in my head, so I'm hoping that these are going to work. Slightly experimental, but why not? So these are the dies, and you get 20 dies in total, so there's loads in there. As I say, some of them cut out the papers, and then you have ones that cut out the stamps, and then there are ones like the drill that you can cut out with different colours of card and put those together. There's also these cute little screws and nuts and bolts as well. So let me show you what I have cut out for my first card. What I've done is I've taken this die here and put it onto a piece of card, run it through the machine, move this along and run it through again, and then moved it along. So I just did it manually. It's close enough not to worry about the spacing. It's quite easy to line up. Let me put this piece behind, then you can see the holes, because I wanted to get the effect of a pegboard in somebody's workshop. Hi Teresa, and good evening to you. I hope you're feeling okay this evening, and that it's not too cold. It's cold here, but we have no snow. I know you've had snow up your way. So I've just moved that along to create this pegboard, and I'm going to glue that down in a minute. And then what I've done is I've cut out in real red, this is the colour of the cardstock, real red, a toolbox. So you have the handle and the toolbox. Okay, and obviously you can make this go further down if you want to, like so. And then I've also cut a handful of the tools here. There's the drill, for example, and then there's the drill bit on the end. I've got paint brushes with some different colours. I've got a hammer. I've got the tape measure, one of the spanners, the adjustable spanner. That's from the drill, and then I've got the finest little pencil you could choose. Hi Caroline, hi Sandra, and hi to Trudy. And then I've also got these pieces here that I've cut up from the papers, just literally cut into strips. So for my first card, what I was thinking, and I always value your input with these things, so I'm going to attach this to the base card, and then I was thinking of popping a toolbox here, maybe lifted up on dimensionals, and then have some of these elements on the back, so if it's on the pegboard, like so. I'm going to run out of space really. I'm going to put some in here as well. Maybe the paintbrushes could go in. And maybe there is the word Dad in the stamp set. Let's have a look. Had it right here for my... What I don't know is whether that will fit on that toolbox. Let's have a look. If not, I could replace it with something else. You could also use, which I might do, the letters. Oh, it does fit, look at that. You could use the new letter dies. So there is one new die that has all of the letters on it. So you could put somebody's name rather than Dad onto there. But I think that's going to work. So let's start with that. And then I have got an idea for a second card, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so this is the word Dad, and I'm going to pop it. I'm going to stamp it onto here because I haven't used this stamp yet, and I think I have Pebbled Path ink, But at least I got Pebbled Path ink out ready. I wonder what I did with that. Okay. It's behind me. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to stamp onto the red. So I want to try it on here and see first. Okay, I think it'll be alright. Okay, I can see it's got a tiny bit of something on there. So I hope everybody has had a good day. Can't believe we're approaching yet another week. So it's Thursday for us here, Friday tomorrow, and I've got a busy weekend. And that puts us, well, we're over halfway through, aren't we? Over halfway through January. Okay, so just cleaning that off. Just want to make sure I've got a really nice coverage. There's something on there now. Okay. Hi Nick. Have you got snow where you are? So Nick is in Ireland. Okay, let's try this again. Okie dokie. Right, I'm going to stamp it on the back of this first because I want to make sure it's going to fit, because it looks bigger, I think, than it actually is. It's one of those optical illusions. So when I'm using a die, if I can, I try it out on the back. It's definitely got something on there, hasn't it? Okay, and I have cut out a couple of these, so let's give this a go. So that was my practice one, and then this is going to go onto here. Yeah, I think it looks alright. Okay, so a nice amount of pressure. It's quite a solid stamp, this, so I'm just holding it down perhaps more than I would normally if it was just onto white card. There we go. So there's my dad on there. So obviously this would make a great birthday card, Father's Day card. Okay, now I'm going to pop my handle on here, and you can either put it on the top or you can put it behind, and you can have it quite low down or, you know, as high up as you want to go. You can also, no, this is a different colour, but you could also stack these together to make a double height one, and you could also use the back of one of the papers, which is designed to look like the Snap-on Tools toolbox, which is this one here. So you could use the die and cut this out directly from the paper. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put my handles on first, and so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the front of this, and this has got a little bit of embossing on it. So I'm going to put a little bit on there and there, like so. And then I think what I'm going to do is try and get it straight. So I'm using, I know you can't see that, I'm using the bottom of the handle there. Okay, so there's my toolbox with its handle. sort of straight. Oh, hi Carol from Not So Sunny Florida. Bless you. And hi Heather. And Nick's got no snow but plenty of frost and ice. So great to have you join us, Carol. So I've stamped Dad onto there. As I say, you could use the alphabet and put somebody's name. That would be quite fun. So what I'm going to do is this is going to go onto here with some dimensionals, and then I'm going to put a few tools inside and a few as if they're hanging up on the rack. What I did think is if you have any of these left, these are our small mini brads, and it occurred to me that these probably fit through the pegboard without going through, like so. And for example, I know you probably wouldn't put them on with this, but you could actually put that through any of the items and actually have them hanging up. Okay, and I've got some larger ones in there as well, but they're probably a little bit too big. Okay, so let's put this layer down, and you do want to be a little bit careful and just run the glue. Let me just make sure this is in view. Yes, it is. Move this up a little bit. Just make sure that you're not putting too much glue on, because you don't want it to seep through the holes. So I'm just doing a sort of a light scribble of glue there. As I said, to get this I use the die 3 times across a piece of card, and then I cut it to fit the front of the card. You could also use the dots and spots die that we have, which is a full-size die. Okay, I think that will be alright. I just don't want to put too much glue on. The tape might just fit, but it wouldn't fit around the very edge. And I'm popping this onto an Early Espresso card base, and I will put the layer inside. So let's pop that on. This is a standard UK sized card. There we go. So I hope everybody is keeping well. It's cold here. It's about minus, I'd say about -2 at the minute. That went down to about -6 last night. Okay. I thought I stamped that wrong for a minute. Of course, that is my corrected one. Okay, that was my practice. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals to make it look like it's sitting up on there. And I can either use dimensionals or strips. And we had great fun with this set on Tuesday, as Caroline will attest. Caroline was at Coffee and Card with us on Tuesday. So I'm going to put one in the middle there, and here. And I might cut a very narrow piece, I don't know, for the top. I don't know whether I need to support it. I'm not sure that I do. Let's try it and see. And then I'm just going to pop some of the tools around the outside. So many things you can do with this. I was thinking it's not just for do-it-yourself people, painters and decorators. You could use all the spanners and things like that for somebody who's into, you know, car engineering. Make sure I've got those all done. Okay, so this is opening that way round. I'm going to pop this just on the bottom, and I'm just going to count those. I've got 4 that side, 4 that side. That looks good. Just having it a little way up from the top, as if it's sort of sitting on the bottom of the bench there. Okay, and then I can tuck some of these tools inside. Now I've got some dimensionals underneath, so I'm going to have to be careful to tuck them in. The good thing about this is, let me find these here. So you can cut these elements here from the end and tuck them underneath. You don't need to don't use a full-sized one and cut it down. Okay, I mean obviously you can do, but in order to make these go further, you can use any of these elements. So for example, I can use these, cut these pliers. I'll put the snips down somewhere safe. Where have they gone, folks? I'll have to use these. These aren't my paper snips, but they'll do the job. So what you can do is not worry about the fact it's not a full, it's actually wire cutters, aren't they, not pliers, I think. So just going to cut round these. Now when you die cut them, sometimes you will find there is a white border around the edge. It's sort of the way it's designed because the stamp is the same, but I'm going to show you what you can do if you don't like that. So these are not as good as snips because they've got a flat top, but they'll serve my purpose. So just cutting this like so. And even though these are cut off, it means I know that I can just pop them in like so. So what I do like to do, find my paper, is around the edge of these I like to use a light colour. So this is, that's dark crumb cake, as is this, but I think it will do the job. So I like to just run a blends brush, blends pen, light crumb cake, dark crumb cake, smoky slate, any of those really, just to take the white edge off. Now if you can see the difference, let's find one with more of a white edge, this one here. So, and it will dry slightly lighter, but it does mean if you haven't got into all the nooks and crannies, it doesn't matter. You can brush some of it away effectively, like so. If you can see the difference really. And if you don't like this white on the handle, the same thing goes. You can just add a little bit of colour, like so. Same with this one. And the same here, it's a little bit more obvious perhaps on this one. And you could use grey, you can use, I wouldn't use black because it's a little bit too dark, but out of choice I would use light crumb cake. So if you can see the difference. And you can do the same along the edges when you die cut things. So just takes that white edge away. Okay. Right, so I'm not quite sure which bits I'm going to use. Let me just give this the same treatment. And as I say, you don't have to be precise about this. I'm literally going around the edge. And the same here on the bottom of the paintbrush. Okay, I might need to do some more, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do now is just pop in some of my tools into here. So I'm going to have a few sort of tucked in like so, and if it's still too big you can obviously trim it down depending on where you put your dimensionals really. Have I got any part ones that would be useful? I could put the pencil in there. So there's the pencil, tiny little pencil. Actually I might put that flat because it's so fine. I don't really want to have that, you know, lifted up. So that might go in there. And then really I'm just adding bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do is pop some of these on our pegboard as if it's hanging up. Let's use the one that I've done the edging for. And these can go on with dimensionals or they can go flat. And obviously what you can do is organise them first. So, you know, decide where everything is going to go. Let's just put a little edge on this one, like so. Oops. And if you cut them out with the dies, they'll have the holes cut out. If you fussy cut them out, then what I would do is just use a hole punch here and punch a hole through, or just cover it over with the pen so that you can't see the white circle that's in there. So I'm just going to pop these together. Obviously you can take much more time over this, and if you've got the embellishments that we had with the garage set, you could add those on, and also you could die cut the little screws and things like that and have those tucked in as well. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got the spanner, maybe put that, and we've got the hammer. Now I appreciate that's not going to hang on the pegboard, but it may have little hooks there, mightn't it? Let's put this on with dimensionals. So I think you'd have great fun with this. As I say, it doesn't have to be Father's Day, it could be a birthday, it could be congratulations on the new job. Hi Scott, good evening to you. This is the famous Scott Hawkins, everybody. Everybody's been commenting about Scott's fabulous card that he did on Tuesday. So I've got this mounted on dimensionals, and then I'm just adding these pieces on. Let's put this one here. As I say, you can fussy cut, so what I might do is just put a few on and then add some more later on, because watching me just cut these out and sticking them out is not very exciting for you. Okay, let's take the backings off. Okay, let's put this here. You could have some fun with this, couldn't you, having them all in a pile at the bottom. If you've got somebody that's not very good at putting things away. Okay, let's see what else I've got. Those, oh, the drill would probably go in here actually, wouldn't it? I could put it underneath the handle. Maybe if I have it like that, and I've got the drill bit that goes with it, so that would work. Or I could save that and just put in maybe that could go across there, and it's a bit big for that, isn't it? Could have another paintbrush in there. I could cut something else out as well. What do we think? Do we want the drill in there, or was the drill a bit too big? I have got lots of other bits. Let's see what I've got here. Got the pliers. Oh, we've got the pencil as well, haven't we? And even that little bit there you could have tucked in. So with the drill or without, I can't decide. Hi, Carol. This could work on there, couldn't it? Though it does look a bit odd set in the middle of nowhere. Needs to be further down, doesn't it? Thing is, I don't want to overdo it. I could put another paintbrush there. That would work. Okay, so I'm just going to give this the same treatment as I've done that one. Just using the crumb cake blends pen just to go around those edges to get rid of the white. That bit in the middle as well. And then just along here. So I quite like those two together, so let's do that. Okay, this one I'm going to put flat under here because I've got this raised up. So just pop some glue on. So I'm just using wet glue, and if you missed it earlier, I used wet glue on the back of here, but made sure that I ran the glue just in the gaps of the holes. So let's put that there, like that. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Gonna go for it. And I'm going to put this flat as well. So this has got components that you can cut up. So you can cut it into different colours just with the die. So if you don't have the papers, you can make the drill with the die. It doesn't have a matching stamp. So I'm going to tuck that underneath there. So, and then hopefully I've left enough space for my bit, and I'm just going to again, just means you don't have to be quite so precise on your cutting. There we go. I think actually I cut this one from a different drill. Okay. There we are. So far so good. And then we can pop a pencil in here, although it seems a bit of a pain. shame to lose the pencil, doesn't it? I suppose I can have it. I don't want to cover up my dad, really. I could put it up there. There we go. Like that. There we are. And then we can pop these back in that we had earlier, either under or over the handles. Over the handle, I think, so it looks like it's on this side. Okay. Just hold that down, and also you can carry on adding more and more as you wish, like so. I would, I think, cut out some nuts and bolts and maybe have those here in the bottom. If I've got some grey or some silver foil card, I could cut those out, so I might do that in a minute. I think what I'm going to do is put a small piece of dimensional behind the wire cutters, just to give that little bit of support. I'm looking at the time. So I'm going to attach it to the back, so I know that it's not showing, and then take the backing off. There we go. Okay, so I think that's going to be my finished first card, really. I hope we're still live. Looks like we are. And obviously you can add extra bits and pieces to that. So I might cut out the nuts and bolts and things and pop those on. But I want to do something else with the toolbox, which is trying to make a 3D toolbox. So I have something in my head. Oh, I didn't add the tape measure piece either. Or it could be a ruler. Could add that in. Yes. Sorry, that's me saying I've finished. I'm going to pop. If I don't do it now, I won't bother later. So let us add a small piece of dimensional there. Thank you, Heather. I hope you've been crafting. There we go. Put a little bit there. Forgotten where I had it now. Something like that. Something like that. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Oh, that needs a bit of glue underneath it, doesn't it? But okay. So that's one. And then I had an idea. So I've just cut these out to try it. It's going to be the front. This is going to be the back. And then I was thinking, I've just cut some more out, but just so they're the same height. But I'm thinking of putting this like that in between. So I really want 2 score lines on this. Maybe I'll just do it manually. 1, 2, like that. And I'm thinking to put one there and one there, like so. Okay. Now we need to make one the same. So I'm not measuring this, I'm just doing this by eye, as you can see. But hopefully it will be close enough. Let's have a look, see. Obviously if I was doing this for a class or something, I would measure it more accurately. But what I'm thinking is to attach that and that on one side. And then do the same on the other, to make a little 3D toolbox, like so. It might need to be narrower, but I'm going to leave it fairly large just to see how it would work, and then I can scale it down. So let's put glue on this one and this one, and I've just used the same die because I know then it's the same height, but obviously you could just cut the paper to size if you wanted to. There's that one, and then let's flatten that down and attach that. So slightly experimental, see whether it works. And I also think with this you could score this or draw lines on, or you could put it, cut it in crumb cake card and run it through an embossing folder to make it look like it was wooden, for example, rather than bright red. But I'm going to do the same thing here, like that. Time to take the top off the glue, which is already off. And the same thing. Put it on the inside, like that. I'm sure there'll be lots of variations of this. This was just a thought that came to me literally 5 minutes before I came live. There we go. And then that one there. And this is just scraps of Poppy Parade paper, which is why it's got scores on it, like so. And then, oh, I've got a handle here, that was handy. So I think you could put 2 handles. You could have one on one side and one on the other, because often they're like that, aren't they? Because you wouldn't, or you could put it in the middle, I suppose, but it's sort of facing the wrong direction. So I think one on that side and one on the other. And then you could do a piece across the bottom. You could use the same piece and fold it across the bottom, if that makes sense. So score it so it's the same width. Maybe I'll just cut one out and see, as long as you're not in a hurry. So I'm just going to take another one of those, just try it and see. And you could make this then into little gifts, couldn't you? Little gift boxes. Go. So I'm thinking just to score it and score it, whatever this width is. This width is 2.3. So I haven't got much to play with, but let's just try it. So I've got one score line, and then I want that to sit at 2.3. That's about 4 millimeters. Okay, if I was doing this as a finished thing, I would probably cut the card rather than just using this piece here, but because then you could make it obviously bigger, or could score this narrower. So basically that would fit onto the bottom. Let's cut that at an angle. Like so. Yeah, you definitely want more than 4 millimeters to play with, but hopefully you'll get the idea. I might have made it a little bit too big actually. Okay, let me just wrap it around the outside for the minute. But that would be on the inside, so I've scored it obviously just a little bit too wide, like so. And then you could put your 2 handles on, and then you could put some chocolates in there, or you could fill it with some of these items. So if you made this narrower, you can actually then fit that on front of the card if you wanted to. So there's a thought for you, but yeah, it definitely needs to be obviously narrower than that, probably about that much, half of that, like so. And then you could have that, you know, quite 3D. You'd have to be careful when you are posting it, of course, because this could get crushed, couldn't it? But you could probably get an after 8 in there. Right, so there we go. That was my idea to do that, and yes, I suppose I could put that down there now. But I'm going to cut out some of the nuts and bolts and just put these across the bottom, and then pop a white card inside, and if I've got any of these pieces left, I will just layer those up. So I hope you like them. A little bit of fun card, so it's really a step on from this one. So this is our coffee card, just cutting out those tools and the small pegboard, and this is a step up from that, which was creating the little toolbox, cutting these out using the dark crumb cake blends pen around the edge so there's less white showing, and then just putting that all together onto the card. So I hope you like it. If you love fussy cutting, this is a good one to be fussy cutting with. I am just going to find a little bit of grey card and just cut out those screws because I haven't cut them out and I want to see what they look like. So if you've got things to do, feel free to head off. I'm just going to cut these out, see what they're like. And I'm thinking a bit of foiled card. What have I got? Oh, this is perfect. Well, maybe not. It's a bit purpley, isn't it? But let's just cut a little piece and see. You could also use some grey, just some plain grey card, couldn't you? Basic grey or something. look and see what they look like. They are dinky. Find a pokey tool. Oh wow. I'll put this on a piece of white card so you can see them. That's very effective. I'll put them on here and lift them up to the camera. There we go. If you can see those. Hopefully you can. And those definitely, you really want to put some self-adhesive sheet on the back of that rather than try and fix those with glue. So what I will do is cut some out with some sticky sheet behind and then pop those in these little gaps here, and I think that will do nicely. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's just approaching 8 o'clock here on Thursday the 18th of January. I appreciate you joining me. If you're joining live, then thank you and have a good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you are. And if you're watching on replay or catch up, then thank you to you. Any questions on anything I've used, then just let me know. Send me a message or a comment and I'll be more than happy to help you. So the stamp set is called Trusty Tools. The matching dies are called the Trusty Tools dies, and it includes this one here with the dots on them, and then the papers you get for free. If you buy the two together between now and the end of February, you can get the papers for free. This is also our stamp set of the week, so if you purchase the stamp set or the dies or the bundle, then I will send you the components for all of the cards, including some of these pieces that you can cut out. So thank you so much. Carol says she needs to get this set. I think if you've got people in any element of engineering, or you know, car mechanic, painting, decorating, any of those, you can use, you know, lots of these items. Plus you've got the stamp set with the nice sentiments as well. So thank you everyone, do take care, and I hope you have a good weekend if you're heading to the weekend, and I'll be back here Monday morning 10 AM for our new stamp set of the week for next week. Thank you all, do take care, and thank you for joining me, and bye for now.